It's the 21st of February 2015. Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Lillian Muli Kanene. Now, a nationwide survey conducted last week indicates that over 70% of Kenyans are not satisfied with their alternative or new source of news following the shutdown of the 3 leading television channels in the country. The Ipsos opinion poll further indicates that a large mass of Kenyans have been locked out of their favorite programs and news on television since last Saturday, as a huge 60% of Kenyan households do not own any set-top box. Sylvia Chabet reports.
With blank screens staring back at audiences whose loyalty was to Citizen TV, KTN and NTV, nearly 10% of Kenyans are said to be going without any news at all since last Saturday.
Ile station nyingine yote tumefungiwa, hatujui mahali iko, ni bure unakaa.
Being free-to-air channels, the 3 stations were accessible both to those who own and those who don't own set-top boxes. A survey conducted by opinion polling firm Ipsos explains why this situation, which amounts to a serious breach of the freedom to access information, has come to be. A nationwide random sample involving 932 participants who own television sets projects that out of every 10 households, only 4 have set-top boxes. Majority of the 62% who don't have one indicated that they are not planning to purchase one at the moment, whether it's because they cannot afford one or because they know that they would not access previously available channels remains unclear.
Naona Inspector Mwala, hivyo siku nyingine naona Itaidi High, inafuata siku nyingine Kansimi. Hasa hizo vipindi imefanya nisikie vibaya kwa sababu nilikuwa nasawa kuziona na saizi sioni.
Whether owners of set-top boxes or not, the survey shows that the vast majority of television owners are not satisfied with their alternative or new main source of news or information. 77% of those who own the set-top boxes and 73% of those who don't own one say they are not happy with other TV channels as their main source of news.
Tumeona Kenya imekaa kwa giza sasa. Wakenya wanalia, hakuna runinga. Hawezi kuona ile televisheni ambayo walikuwa wanazoea kuona. We are going back to the days of VOK, Voice of Kenya, where news media was completely monopolized by one TV station alone.
Radio now provides the lifeline as the main source of information since the switch-off, with a combined 56% of those who own and those who don't own set-top boxes turning to the radio for information. Others have been left to depend on word of mouth, and another 9% have no source at all. Asked what they had noticed on television since last Saturday, 3/4 of these television owners mentioned that the mainstream television stations stopped transmission. Another 16% reported that, quote-unquote, all channels had been switched off, an indication that prior to the analog switch-off, those were the only channels they were able to access. 5% of those interviewed indicated that they were aware that digital migration had taken place.
But you do not do it the way it is being done today in order to punish business, to punish innocent wananchi. This is not a way to do it. This is a primitive way, a very draconian way of trying to manage change in a society. We must therefore condemn what is being done by the government today.
59% of television owners believe the government is responsible for the shutdown, while 17% blame the media owners. Only tiny minorities put the blame on the Supreme Court and the Chinese, though a considerable proportion, totaling 16%, are unsure of who is responsible for the switch-off. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen Weekend.
And members of parliament may make amendments to the CDF Amendment Act 2013 to ensure it is not nullified as directed by the High Court on Friday. House Speaker Justin Muturi says the Constituency Development Fund does not go against devolution and the two can seamlessly work together. But court leader Raila Odinga says the birth of devolution did away with the need for the CDF.
The Constituency Development Fund versus devolution. That is the premise upon which the Institute for Social Accountability and the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance filed a petition at the High Court challenging the constitutionality of the CDF Amendment Act 2013. And as such, the ruling by Lady Justice Mumbi Ngoge and Justices Isaac Lenaola and David Majanja that if the Act is not amended in 12 months, it will stand nullified has sparked a raft of reactions from the political realm. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Anne Waiguru, under whose docket the matter falls, says her ministry will analyze and interpret the ruling.
At this point, it's too early to say what that means. We are still perusing through the ruling to see what exactly that the ruling said. We haven't received the hard copy, and thereafter waiting to see what the finalization of that decision will be, depending on the response that comes from the members of parliament. As you're aware, budget allocation is actually provided for by the members of parliament. I'm sure that when they do that, they will be complying with the law. If they appeal, then we will wait to see what the appeal says so that we can know how to move forward. Right now, it's too early to say what that means or what that doesn't mean.
CORD leader Raila Odinga appeared to back the ruling, saying CDF was established when the country needed it most, but with the advent of devolution, the time for CDF had passed.
We need to have funds going to the county and then eventually to the constituency and to the wards. It is now just the issue of who is responsible, who is in charge, who is executing, and who is oversighting. This is what needs to be discussed exhaustively so that an agreement is reached.
House Speaker Justin Muturi has dismissed calls to nullify the CDF Act and instead says Parliament will amend the Act to align it with the Constitution within the 12-month grace period given by the High Court.
CDF is not supposed to fight devolution. It does not fight devolution. It is possible to continue to operate CDF, the CDF model, alongside devolution.
Members of Parliament were quick to react to the ruling.
The court has given us 12 months. Wacha ikuje kwa Parliament. Not 12 months, not 12 days. In 12 minutes, we'll amend the law.
Those of us who are dissatisfied, we know the route map. Those of us who are happy, let's retain our happiness.
We are going to appeal that decision to ensure that CDF continues to trickle down to the constituency.
We as a member of Parliament, we are going to sit down and see to it that those who have declared it unconstitutional, we are going to sit down and find a way to make sure that CDF is there to remain. Otherwise, it's something which Wananchi have really benefited from, and there is no way it can be declared unconstitutional.
Don't know. We don't want, first of all, to challenge what they said. But anybody who would say that CDF has not transformed this country, that person does not live in this country.
That, to me, is the saddest moment in Kenya today. As you are aware, what the MPs have done with the money of the CDF for the last 2 years is more than what the governors have done with their billions for the last 2 years.
Members of Parliament will not be keen on having the Constituency Development Fund scrapped, as it serves to garner them clout in the management of its funds in their constituencies. But governors may take them on in the defense of devolution, a conversation that will be witnessed in coming weeks.
And a showdown is looming between governors and members of parliament as the county chiefs now prepare to move to court to defend their titles. Siaya Governor Colonel Rasanga says the passage of the Order of Precedence bill that is seeking to strip them of their recognition titles is unnecessary and unconstitutional. The chair of the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution, Charles Nyachae, who appears to support the governors, says the bill is not a priority for Kenyans. Nyachae maintains that he will continue using the contentious recognition titles on governors and MCAs.
Who are bringing bills which more or less are an affront to democracy are merely undermining devolution.
It is an exercise in futility. I think what Atieno wants is delivery of services to her, not whether you call the governor Your Excellency or you call MCA honorable.
What do you do when you're handed a 12-year prison sentence? For some, such a verdict may kill their spirit and desire to make something of themselves. But not Anne Koshoke Lengoyeyo, who only 3 days ago was released from Murang'a prison after serving 12 years behind bars. Koshoke learned to decorate various household items with beads while in prison and has won both national and international acclaim for her craft. Although expressing anxiety about her reintegration into society, she remains hopeful that with a little financial boost, she'll be able to survive solely from her beadwork, a craft whose passion for is evident from her enthusiastic description of her finished works. Koshoke was found guilty of kidnapping a friend in 2003, but has since expressed remorse for her action and now calls on members of the society not to discriminate against former prisoners in their attempts to rejoin society.
Naipenda sana sana, na vile ninaipenda ningetaka inipe ujira badala ya kwenda kualikwa na mtu. Usikuwe na uoga eti juu mtu ametoka jela. Hapa tumechange, unaona tuko na watu, familia, dada zetu ni ndugu zetu na tunaishi na wao. Kwa hivyo usiogope.
Hivyo hii ushindi ni yake, lakini sababu haiwezi kuja na jina yake, imekuja na jina ya prison, lakini yeye ndiye alifanya tukashinda. Na zingine mingi ambaye hatujaweka mahali hapa.
Mtu ukiwa hapo nje, dhamini freedom yako. Freedom yako ni kitu important sana.
Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe turns 91 today and takes the title of the eldest world leader ahead of Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi, who is 88 years old, and Malaysia's head of state Abdul Halim of Kedah, who is 87 years old. President Mugabe will host a lavish party a week from today, celebrating his 91st birthday. Mugabe is set to spend a sum on his birthday bash, and last year the Zimbabwean president reportedly spent an estimated $1 million, about 91 million Kenya shillings at current exchange rates, on his lavish party. He hosted 20,000 guests at a luxurious golf course that oversees the scenic Victoria Falls. His birthday this year is set to top his previous parties. Mugabe will host his birthday party on the 28th of February at the Elephant Hills Hotel Resort and Golf Course. And the government has deployed a contingent of security forces to Baringo South to deal with increasing cases of insecurity. A statement from the Inspector General's office says the team drawn from the regular police, GSU and administration police rapid deployment unit is already conducting a security operation in the region where several people have been killed in violent clashes and cattle rustling incidents. In the meantime, the government has also directed Baringo County leaders to hold talks aimed at resolving the hostilities. In the meantime, residents of Muchongoy in Baringo County staged a peaceful demonstration in the area to protest about the rising cases of insecurity that have led some families to flee their homes in fear and forced the closure of more than 11 schools. The residents who have accused a member of parliament from the region of protecting criminals marched from Muchongoy through to Kabel to Kiriam area, where they castigated the government over its failure to contain cattle raiders from a neighboring community.
Ya ndama. Ile shida tuko nayo, tumefunga shule zaidi ya 20. Saa hizi watoto wanakufa na pneumonia, wamama wanakufa kwa barabara, wameondolewa kwa mashamba yao.
Tunakufa na tuko na serikali. Na Mheshimiwa Ruto alituambia wakati alikuja kuomba kura ya kwamba siku 100 hii mambo ya insecurity itakuwa imemakamilisha. Na saa hii mpaka saa hii ni miaka 3 imeenda na hatujawahi ona usaidizi yoyote.
And of course, that's a wrap on Citizen Weekend. Stay with us for the latest updates on news making headlines. Thank you for watching. I'm Lillian Mullikanene. Have a wonderful evening.